What's up, college football fans? Welcome to another QB Spotlight video. And today we're talking about Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson. We're going to be talking about, hopefully we can get through every quarterback in the FBS and talk about what areas of improvement they need to do to improve and take the next step, right? And so we're starting off with Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson. We have Spencer Rattler coming out this week, and we'll probably have some more. But before we keep diving into this, no film we're going to break down, right? We're just going to talk about what they need to improve on. And we do have a film breakdown. We just started a Patreon. So if you want to see the film breakdown, like the actual film and us like talking about X, Y, and Z and kind of diving into the weeds, if you're interested in that, then check out our Patreon. I'll put it in the link below if I can figure out how to do that. And you can kind of see the full film breakdown video, right? So with that said, let's talk about KJ Jefferson. So KJ, if you just looked at his stats, if you just looked at the box scores, you'd be like, man, he's had a really good past few seasons, right? He takes care of the football. He can run, right? And he pushes the ball downfield, right? He fit Kendall Browse's offense really, really good, where Kendall was able to scheme up open receivers and KJ was able to hit those receivers, and then he was able to go off script when needed to and scramble, throw on the run, whatever it may be. He was able to make a lot of good plays, right? So if you just look at the box score, it's going to be hard to say, hey, okay, where can he improve? What are the areas he has to improve on? You can only really get that by watching film, right? You can't be a box score analyst, essentially. So with KJ Jefferson, and this is, again, we have this all on the Patreon film breakdown. We have all the clips that we're breaking down. But with KJ, his biggest thing is, one, in my opinion, being patient in the pocket, letting some plays develop, trusting the plays. When you're an athletic quarterback, when you're a quarterback that can run, a lot of times if your first or second read's not there, it's easy, or if pressure comes, it's easy to just put your head down and run. And a lot of times that ends up being a successful play. But at the same time, there's also, if you put your head down too early or leave the pocket too early, then there's receivers that tend to come open if you would just stay just a little bit longer, right? So being patient in the pocket is number one. But I think number two is probably the biggest area of improvement that KJ can make to be a potential high NFL draft pick if he makes this improvement, and that's throwing with anticipation. With Browse's offense, with that kind of whatever you want to call it, the spread, veer and shoot, run and gun, a combination of all that, right? The RPO. A lot of times receivers are schemed open, and so you don't really have to throw with anticipation all that much, right? Unless it's a true passing down or a true drop back pass. But throwing with anticipation, I think, is KJ's next step. And we have 4 or 5 clips that we reference and break down in the Patreon video that shows that if KJ was able to throw us in anticipation some of these throws, some receivers that were covered were actually open. Now that's the biggest thing about anticipation, and that's why it's so hard to throw with anticipation, because a lot of times you're throwing the ball to a receiver when he's covered, right? Receivers are taught to get covered to get open, right? That's how you create space. If you run into the DB and get covered, then you have space to run away from him, right? But if you're the quarterback, you have to throw the ball before the receiver breaks, right? If you wait for the receiver to break, then he may have been open when he broke, but after that break, if that ball's not there, then now he's covered. Does that kind of make sense? So again, I think that's KJ's biggest area of improvement, is just throwing with anticipation. I think this Dan Enos offense, I think, can help KJ take that next step and throwing with anticipation. There's probably some more, like reads and schemes that are maybe more NFL-ish compared to the RPO system. But at the same time, in the Patreon video breakdown that we have, we do show KJ throwing with anticipation. It's not like he doesn't do it. It's just if he can do it consistently, I think that's KJ's kind of next step in the quarterback development, right? When you've had so much success like KJ, you really have to kind of nitpick. But that's what the NFL draft people do, right? I guess. I don't know. I don't keep up with the NFL all that much. But they're going to be looking at the film and saying, okay, that ball should have been thrown now. He waited a split second, and then he threw it, but he threw it after the DB was able to recover and cover the receiver, as opposed to throwing it on time and the DB can't recover and the ball is already there and the receiver breaks. So again, anticipation, being patient in the pocket, I think that is going to be KJ's kind of recipe for taking the next step. If he can do that, then I think he can, fly up some draft boards. Right now, I don't know what the draft boards are for next year. We don't do that type of stuff. But reading all these articles coming out, KJ is like the number 1 quarterback returning in the SEC as far as experience goes. But then when you look at like, hey, okay, who are the top quarterbacks in college football? Who could be drafted? He's like in that 10th range, I think, for a lot of these articles. So I think for him to kind of really track up, I think he can, obviously, he's going to have a big year. But I think a lot of that is doing all these things NFL teams want to see. Let the play develop, throw with anticipation, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. So again, we have a video of the film breakdown in our link below, the Patreon link. So again, if you want to check that out, please go ahead. If not, we'll continue to put out content like this. Just not a lot of film breakdowns anymore, but we still want to put out some content on YouTube. So again, let us know what your thoughts are on KJ. What do you think his next steps need to be? What quarterbacks do you want to see next? We have some cool content coming up still on YouTube. We're going to put out some cool stuff. So let us know. And again, if you like the video, like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. It really does help us out. And we'll see you next time on the next quarterback related video. Peace.